Hello, I've done the last session in the 5-day course Awaken Compassion that I gave on Patreon, and I'm here doing a summary, exploring what we covered in the course and why the practice of compassion is important for you. You may want to get a glass of water, a warm cup. We're going to have a chat. You may be listening to this as an audio on Apple Podcasts or Patreon. This does not have a meditation component to it. The course was 5 days, 5 sessions, and we explored how to practice compassion and why. Compassion, the demonstration of compassion, can alleviate inflammation in joints, can support the immune system, can support healing from health, can reduce the heart rate and blood pressure and more. Compassion. Stress can cause inflammation, can cause illness, can cause the startle reflex to be more sensitive, can cause hyperarousal, can compromise the immune system. Stress. So why is compassion important? Because the practice of compassion increases or can increase perspective, understanding, the development of wisdom, the development of resilience, the ability to move through adversity, process suffering, and experience peace. What I like about compassion is its softness. We toy with, we discuss the word forgiveness. And for those of us who have experienced trauma, sometimes demonstrating forgiveness may not resonate with us at that time in that space, and that's okay. Instead, we can choose to be compassionate. Compassion is demonstrating understanding, releasing the control that a memory, a person has over us, with boundaries. Forgiveness, and linguistically, words can adapt and evolve. In contemporary society, forgiveness is seen as unconditional. There is a people-pleasing element. I'm not saying it's people-pleasing. I'm talking about the separation of the words compassion and forgiveness. Of course, it is worth forgiving. Of course, it is the most supportive process, pathway to forgive. Forgiveness means using your values, your cultural values and learnings to let go of the behaviour of another. Sometimes that person, those people's behaviour can be pretty terrible. And maybe it doesn't work with our healing process to forgive or to identify with forgiveness at that time. Compassion can be like pouring water upon a fire. Compassion can be like fertilizing a new seed. So we worked with compassion for 5 days on Patreon. To go through the 5 days, we started with looking at the key concepts and techniques in developing a compassion practice. In day 2, we looked at self-inquiry and the importance of self-inquiry. When we choose curiosity instead of fear, we open ourselves up to limitless capacity the unlimited opportunity. When we choose to ask rather than know, we choose the universe instead of the ego. When we choose to be open rather than closed to conformity, we choose growth and wisdom. A dog can hear sounds that we can't. So how do we know what is out there? I'm not encouraging believing anything at any time. It's always safety first, always. But when we embrace self-inquiry rather than fear, we are open and open to growth rather than closed and limited, possibly resentful, possibly embittered. So we talked about compassion, being curious, and throwing off the mantle of fear. Day 3, we talked about the tenets of growth and transformation. Those tenets of growth and transformation are having a resilience practice, developing resilience, developing acceptance and awareness, developing perspective, being able to have a bird's eye, hawk view of life rather than being stuck in the trivia, looking down and seeing the world, life in perspective. Looking at the importance of habits and rituals. A ritual is a habit that has meaning. Habits can in themselves have meaning. When we have a part of our day that's predictable, we can have the remaining parts of our day with a level of the sacred. As animals, we like routine. It is comforting. It supports our wellness if the routine is a positive routine. So habits and rituals are a part of demonstrating a compassionate practice and leaving us open to growth. We talked about resilience and overcoming adversity and how practicing compassion can help us overcome adversity. When we overcome adversity, it isn't this superhuman effort where, ta-da, yay, I'm healed. In mental health, recovery is a doing word. Healing is a doing word. It's not a healed, recovered. It is an evolving, a journey, a progression, a humility, a vulnerability. We don't look for the end of the journey. We appreciate the healing as it occurs in this moment rather than, hey, where's the end of the journey? When am I healed? Oh, it's over there somewhere. It's here in all its ugliness, in all its raw nature. We accept the healing process and we're okay with that, with our flaws within the process. Day 5, we looked at building an independent mindfulness practice and understanding the relationship between stress and compassion. And we brainstormed and considered what strategies reduce stress. We talked about the importance of words. If we say reduce stress, we hear stress. I know that in my meditations I use the word anxiety, stress, etc. If we were one-on-one, we would use other words. We would create a world where we do not react to stress. We see calm in the mayhem. We explored the creating of a compassion practice and what does it mean to create a compassion practice. It means a practice that is authentic at that moment on that day. That moment of that day may be lying in a ball on the kitchen floor, rocking, and that may be resilient in that moment. It's okay to have flaws. It's okay to be vulnerable. It's okay to make mistakes. It's okay to be human. It's okay to have brain fog. It's okay to feel shock. It's okay. Life is not about absolutes. Life is not about perfection. Life is not about universals. Life is, as my aunt says, is about moving softly, softly, gently, gently through life. It's about practicing compassion and seeing that compassion is a two-way paradigm. Demonstrating compassion is not necessarily focused on the person who has perhaps done you wrong. When you practice compassion, you inadvertently heal yourself. The practicing, the feeling of compassion heals, reduces inflammation, heals our physical self. There's so much research done that when a group of people pray over a body of water, they can change the structure of that water. And when they pray or think or focus on a person, that person's health can be supported and in certain situations healed. We are incredibly powerful. When we open ourselves up to possibility, our power increases. When we say, I know, we close ourselves. Demonstrating a compassion practice is the fertilizer for growth, to know our conscious self rather than being sucked down into our sheep herd self. I will be doing more of these courses, and I will have regular, starting from Monday, meditations that we do on Zoom. So you're welcome to join us on Patreon. Keep in mind that the seamless, smooth road forward is always soft. Soft resilience, soft coping. Soft doesn't mean weak. It means allowing for what is with a level of acceptance. Soft means responding thoughtfully without reacting. And sometimes soft can mean forgiving yourself, being compassionate towards yourself for reacting. Soft means allowing for the grief process. None of us are going to get the grief process right. We're going to bumble through. Being soft means being okay with being a bumbler and being open to associating and being friendly and being friends with bumblers. We are proud bumblers. We have our egoic herd animal self, and we have our conscious and subconscious self. We both exist in the one body, and that's okay. Life is full of adversity, and the one thing we know is that everything changes, and the world is full of suffering, and we will experience suffering. If we believe we can force peace, it won't happen. Peace is found within the mayhem. When we reach out with a hand to those who need it, we extend compassion. And that's something we can do. The 5 days, it was a profound experience for me. It was really amazing. I really enjoyed it. Awaken compassion. The summary, we covered how to practically design a compassion practice, how to incorporate rituals and habits, which I call 1%ers. The coffee mug, the textured blanket, watching the sunset, spending time with a friend, a walk, patting the dog. These 1%ers give softness to our life, which can give us the strength to keep going. In life, as imperfect as it is, with our flawed selves. Thank you so much for listening to this piece of content. Thank you to those of you who support me on Patreon. It makes content possible. Thank you to all of you who listen to me. We've got this. We haven't got this perfectly, but we are okay. We will be okay, and we will become okay, just as we are. Sending you love.